Before we jump into the video, I want to make a little announcement. I am doing another trip. Whee! A few weeks ago, I talked about going to Thailand with you guys on a vegan food tour. That trip sold out in a few days. So I decided to add on another trip, which is to Vietnam, you guys. We are going to Vietnam. And of course, you are invited. So it's going to be another vegan food tour around Vietnam. Of course, we're going to experience Vietnamese culture as well. And all the food will be vegan, and I am so excited. That's going to happen in September of this year. The link is down below for all the details, and it is basically open for booking now. If you are interested, all you have to do is pay a 25% deposit to hold your spot. There are only 20 spots available, and I believe there are already 5 bookings. So act fast, guys. The first 8 people to book will get $100 off. So that's the early bird discount, and I believe 5 people have already claimed it. So if you are interested, get on it. The link is down below. It has all the details, the dates, the prices, the itinerary, and everything. Check out the link below, and we could potentially travel Vietnam together. Yay! Anyways, let's get on to the video. Hello everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another Vegan Talks video. So if you're not familiar with Vegan Talks videos, it's basically a video where I sit down and I talk about, a vegan topic that has been on my mind or multiple vegan topics. And it's been a very long time since I've done one of these, so I thought I would do it. We have a bit of a podcast setup today because I just recorded my podcast with my friend Daniel. If you don't know, I have a podcast called the SaVeg Podcast, again, with my friend Daniel, and we just finished recording and I thought, hey, might as well film it here. It's all set up anyways. Lights are up, all good. And I thought I would try using the mic. Let me know what you think. Today, I wanted to discuss a few, controversial vegan topics that have been floating around recently and that have been on my mind. I was planning on doing this video already, and then just an hour or so ago, I saw a new story that I actually want to discuss first thing, which I think is quite an interesting topic to discuss. So in this video, I'm basically going to share what I'm thinking, just my thought process, and also sharing my opinions, whether or not they're strong opinions. Some of them might be I'm not so sure about my opinion, but I want to hear your opinions, of course, in a respectful way. I always love doing these videos because I always find that you guys have some very insightful comments. So I find them to be very interesting. And I think it generates a really healthy, respectful discussion in the comments, usually. So please be respectful in the comments, even if you might not agree with everything I'm saying or everything somebody else is saying. So the first story I want to talk about is a very interesting one that I literally just found out about, again, an hour or two ago. And it's a story of David Bennett. So this 57-year-old Maryland man, he was nearing death and he has now undergone cardiac transplant surgery with a genetically modified pig heart. He basically got an organ transplant and he got transplanted a pig's heart instead of a human heart because I guess they had issues getting a human heart. And the first thing I noticed when I first, found out about this story was the news sources were talking about this as this great medical achievement, right? It's like this new breakthrough in science, medical achievement. How amazing is this that now we can safely transplant a pig's heart into a human and this human is still living and, it worked somehow. And my initial reaction was, how can we talk about this without realizing what this means for pigs? I know I'm coming through from a vegan lens, but it's I feel like we've come far to some degree on the discussion of animal rights that it's still shocking that people can't even at least talk about it in that perspective, whether or not you agree that this should happen. I think that we should still at least have the decency to discuss, what it means for animals when we are having these discussions. These are live sentient beings that I believe have to be killed, right? My assumption is that you have to kill the pig to grab that healthy heart and put it into a human being. I'm not very good with science, but let me know if I'm wrong. I worry with this type of innovation. I'm torn on this topic as well because I feel like the one topic that I am really torn about when it comes to veganism is the topic of animal testing in the medical field. I'm against animal testing in general. And I know that in the medical field, it is still being used. Now, I don't know if it has to continuously be used because I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I'm against animal testing, definitely, in terms of cosmetics or, household items, things that are not necessary for human survival. But I am torn on the topic of animal testing in the medical field, vaccines, medicines, scientific research, things like that, because I take medicine. I want to say I'm against it because it definitely is a speciesist thing that we do to animals, right? We take animals, they're not even human, they're not anatomically exactly the same as humans, but we take these animals and we test on these animals because we could never test on humans, right? That's definitely a no-no. We've already agreed that we don't test on humans. Okay. But then we so willy-nilly test on animals, even though it would be a lot more accurate to test on humans, but we do this to animals because we see animals as less than, and we see animals as products that we use to do whatever we want with them. I think it's wrong that we test on animals, even for medical reasons. The consistent anti-speciesist part of me believes that it is wrong, full stop, to do this to animals. Because if I were in that position of being an animal that was being tested on, potentially dying and being tortured and suffering, it would be wrong, from my perspective, if I was an animal. So how can we say that this is okay? So I think morally, it is wrong to do this to them because we're doing it for our own benefit. But at the same time, I am selfish and I take medicines and I am pro-vaccine. I want people to take the vaccine. I'm pro-science. I want scientific innovation, and I will take medicines as needed that have been tested on animals and yada, yada, yada. So I feel hypocritical, which, I probably am. But at the same time, this is the conflict, right? Like I feel hypocritical because I take medicine and I took the vaccine, but at the same time, if you flip it, I'm against, the practices that, made these things possible, if that makes sense. Anyways, so that's the kind of dilemma I have with medical animal testing and how we use animals in the medical field. And I feel like this story of this pig takes this whole thing to the next stage, to the next level. And it makes me fearful, okay? This type of innovation, because once we start doing this, taking a pig's heart and putting it into humans, once this starts becoming a normal practice, it's going to be so hard to not do it after the fact, because then it becomes, a question of, well, if it was your dad that needed a heart transplant, wouldn't you want this to be a thing? Well, it shouldn't be a thing in the first place. How much more are we going to exploit animals? How much more are we going to make them suffer for potentially our own lifestyle choices, potentially, right? I'm not saying heart disease or heart problems are necessarily the result of lifestyle choices, not always. And I'm not saying that diet cures everything or anything like that. But at the same time, a lot of it is. A lot of, heart problems and health problems can be attributed to a lot of lifestyle choices. So how far are we going to take this? Do we not exploit pigs enough? Do we not do this enough? It still breaks my heart that we continuously test on animals. Now, if we never tested on animals before, and then we started talking about testing on animals, I think a lot of people would be against it, right, at this stage. But now that it's become normal practice, it's hard to take that away because we've seen what it can do in terms of medical innovation. So I fear that this sort of transplant can lead to something that we can't really turn back on, or it's going to be really hard to turn back on in the future. Right now I have a CNN article up, and the news source that I got this from earlier was the Young Turks, which is an independent liberal news channel. The way that they discussed it was literally just oh, it's innovation. It's innovation. This is where I have a problem. I mean, I'm going off on a tangent, but this is the problem with, I'm as left-wing as they come, just FYI. I'm very left-wing, I'm very liberal, and this is the problem that I have with the current liberal/left-wing kind of climate. I feel that they ignore the animal issue. I'm sorry, but they do. Okay? So many liberal people that are so for human rights in every aspect, that will fight for human rights, which is fantastic, but they will ignore what's going on with animals. They will just ignore it because they have to actually do something about it. It's hard. I know going vegan is hard, but it's disturbing how easily these, left-wing people will just ignore, this extreme atrocity that is happening to the animals, and not just ignore, but participate in. Anyways, that's a tangent. Anyways, so that's the first story. I want to hear your opinions on this topic. Should we be transplanting genetically modified pig hearts to humans? Here's the thing. Can they not like work on other ways of, I don't know, other innovative measures? Maybe like growing a heart in a petri dish, growing like cell grown hearts. I don't know. I feel like if you can take a pig's heart and make it work on a human being, we can do more. Okay, we can do things that don't require us to, again, exploit pigs in another way or exploit animals in yet another way. How many more ways are there that we're going to do this? How many more ways? And I can't help but to question, if we change the pig to a dog, if we're talking about a dog's heart, I guarantee you that the discussion would be different. Maybe some people would still want this to happen, but I guarantee you the discussion will be about dog abuse, animal abuse. We will talk about that if it was a dog's heart, but it's a pig's heart, and we see pigs as a commodity and as a material good. So we ignore the very thing that we should be talking about, which is the ethical component of this discussion. And it disgusts me that, people that claim to be for fighting against injustice can't see this. This is so obvious to me. But it's like, I guess you have to look through it from a vegan lens in order to see this kind of shit. I don't know, you guys. It's disturbing to me. They're talking about it like it's such a breakthrough. It's amazing. And yeah, maybe from a scientific perspective. Okay. But we need to be discussing the ethical problem with this. Anyway, that's the first story, and I want to hear your opinions, like I said. So leave them down below. What do you think? Do you think that this is necessary? Do we need to do this? How much longer do we want to live as humans exploiting so many animals? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Next story that caused a little bit of controversy in the vegan world was a post that Plant-Based News posted. My friends over at Plant-Based News, they posted a little photo, which I think caused some controversy. So Brooklyn Beckham, I think that is Victoria Beckham and David Beckham? Wow, it was David Beckham. I was very confused for a second. David Beckham and Victoria Beckham's son, I believe, is Brooklyn Beckham, and I guess he is promoting vegan shoes. Let me go to his page. Superdry came up with vegan footwear. Okay, it's coming soon. Lower your fashion footprint. #Superdry, #vegan footwear, #sustainable fashion, #ad. So I guess Superdry used Brooklyn Beckham, son of Victoria and David, to promote their new vegan footwear line. This caused some controversy in the comments. So, Plant-Based News, the caption says, although Brooklyn doesn't follow a vegan diet himself, it's great to see vegan fashion becoming more mainstream. What do you think about the term vegan being used as a fashion accessory? Does this perhaps weaken its meaning, or is it beneficial for the movement? Very interesting question to ask. I think it's important to talk about this topic. I'm torn. Okay. I am very torn on this one. I mean, I'm always torn on every topic, apparently. I'm very torn on this one because I'm leaning toward, no, I don't like this. I'm leaning toward me not liking this because I think it does cheapen and weaken the term vegan. I think this is a big problem, okay? People are now slapping the word vegan on so many different things. In some ways, I like that it's being talked about more, which is why I'm saying I'm torn. A part of me really doesn't like it when the term vegan gets thrown around all the time, especially when it's around celebrities. I don't know. I have this like icky thing. It's like a personal thing where the more I see plant-based news outlets or, plant-based like social media accounts talking about celebrities going vegan or celebrities promoting vegan products, the more I get the ick. Like the longer I'm vegan, the more I get the ick, because I've seen this backfire so many times where, somebody will say they're vegan or they want to go vegan, and maybe they do go vegan or they go plant-based, whatever. And then, next thing you know, they're talking trash about veganism, Miley Cyrus. These things happen all the time. And celebrities, I know they're famous and I know they're pretty, but they're not authorities on this topic and they don't know anything. I'm sorry, they don't, not about veganism. So I don't like when they become the poster child for anything vegan, and that's a problem. And I think it really does truly cheapen the message unless the celebrity is truly talking about the real issues behind veganism, which is the animals first and foremost. And of course, the climate is also a very important topic. Unless they're talking about that stuff in a serious, meaningful way, not just, hey, here are some sustainable shoes, #ad. When they're talking about it in a meaningful way, then I think it's something to note. Obviously, they have a big audience. They are influential. But when they just slap on the word vegan on some super dry shoes, it's a problem. It gives me the ick. It gives me the ick. I don't know. Let me read some comments. Just trying to look cool. Vegan is not a fashion statement. It's a belief. See, this is where I agree. And the thing is, the reason why this is also very controversial, I don't follow Brooklyn Beckham, but I've seen in the comments like that he's literally cooking steaks every day of the week. He's making animal products every single day of the week. He's showing himself making all kinds of animal products, so not vegan. And then he just slaps on a pair of vegan shoes and all of a sudden we're supposed to praise him for, what? For what? No, I'm sorry. It's not that easy. It shouldn't be that easy. I don't believe that it creates awareness, in my opinion. Again, he barely wrote anything in the caption. He's not going vegan. He's not even eating vegan meals, it seems. Again, just slapping the word vegan on things doesn't create awareness. It's like that story of somewhere I think it was in the UK. It was like let me find it. I think it was called Bad Vegan. And they opened some kind of restaurant. Okay, I found it. It was this restaurant where they called themselves Bad Vegan. Okay. And they're not a vegan restaurant. They have 80% of their menu being vegan and 20% is not. And this caused a lot of controversy, rightfully so, because, it really seems to be basically using the word vegan as a marketing tool. Obviously, they're trying to go for some kind of shock factor or some sort of marketing tool to draw in an audience. I find it disturbing, and I don't think that it does anything for the movement. I think it really does cheapen what we discuss. Anyway, yeah, so my take on this Brooklyn Beckham, he's a young guy. I don't really necessarily fault him. He just got a sponsorship on Instagram to do an ad. He sees this. This is the problem. Like, he doesn't see this as anything, right? He sees this as a sponsorship. It's an ad. And they probably told him to write certain things like, sustainable shoes in the caption. They probably were like, okay, let's just tell them that it's a vegan shoe and it's going to help lower your carbon footprint or fashion footprint. So he doesn't really think anything of it. There's no thought behind this post, but that's the problem. So that's that. That's my perspective. Let me know. Do you think any publicity is good? Do you think this is a good thing? I don't know if I want to say it's necessarily like a super negative thing, but I don't necessarily see it as a good thing. That's my perspective on that. So the next story is going to be KFC in the US releasing Beyond Meat Nuggets. First of all, I'm very upset because A&W got rid of their Beyond Meat Nuggets, and I guess they just transferred them over to the US. They were limited time only, and I'm sad that I can't get them anymore. But I think KFC in Canada has some new items. Anyways, so KFC in the US has now released Beyond Nuggets all over the US, I think. I think it's all over the US. Of course, every time something like this happens, it causes some discussions in the vegan community. Let me just put this down. One of the things that people are saying is that it's not a vegan product because it's being fried in the same oil as the other products. So like their chicken products and things like that. So they're saying it's not a vegan product. I completely disagree that it's not a vegan product because they're not adding in any animal products into the actual product, into the actual final product. Yes, there is cross-contamination, but there's cross-contamination in a lot of instances, potential cross-contamination. That's why when you buy products at the grocery store, even if they might not contain milk or eggs, it usually says some kind of may contain mark that says may contain contain milk or eggs, something like this, because it might be made in the same factory as animal products. So I don't believe that because it's cooked in the same oil. Sorry guys, my camera died, so I don't know where I left off, but basically I do believe it's still a vegan product, even if there is cross-contamination, because unfortunately we don't live in a very vegan world. And as long as it's not adding to the animal exploitation, as long as it's not bringing more animals to death or, suffering, then to me, that's okay, because, those fryers were there already. They're cooking that chicken already. And so adding in a vegan option to the menu, they're not going to buy a new fryer. They're not going to spend more money than they need to. We're talking about corporations here. They care about money. They care about the bottom line. They're not going to go through all of their restaurants, add in an additional, separate fryer just for their Beyond Nugget menu. Okay, so it's either we get the nuggets or we don't. So I think if we want more vegan options available for the people that need more vegan options, this is a good thing. I think people obviously have a problem with the fact that these fast food places, they obviously exploit animals a lot. A lot of animals, unfortunately, get exploited, and it's really sad. But at the same time, we need more vegan options. Here's the thing. We need more vegan options in these places. We need to slowly make a change and infiltrate in these different places so that people feel more comfortable going vegan, first of all. If there are no vegan options, people are not going to feel comfortable going vegan when they feel like the only thing they can eat ever is a salad. We have progressed a lot in the last however many years in terms of vegan options. I think that really does make a difference. Having additional vegan options makes more people feel more comfortable going vegan. If you feel like you literally just have to eat bananas and lettuce, you're not going to want to go vegan. Okay. We're still a bit selfish. And as much as you want to do good things to the animals, we still also have to, eat good. If we know that we can get a KFC burger or a KFC nugget, then more people might be more inclined to consider a plant-based diet. And also change doesn't happen necessarily overnight. Slowly, you have to make changes, take small baby steps. It's frustrating, I know. I wish we could all go vegan tomorrow, but that's not going to happen. So we have to make those small changes. And I realize now that my thoughts on Brooklyn Beckham and the shoes might contradict my thoughts on this. Do they? Do they contradict? Because then I said that this guy that doesn't care about the cause is wearing the shoes and he's profiting. Okay, so maybe now I'm thinking back at my opinion on that and thinking that I have a contradictory opinion here. Let me know. Do you think I'm being contradictory? I think partially I am, because KFC doesn't care about vegans. It's about selling nuggets. I don't know. I mean, they could have at least used a vegan influencer to talk about the vegan shoes. Am I wrong here? Even when it comes to these fast food companies, they usually, talk to vegan influencers at least, people that actually care about this issue. But again, maybe I'm being contradictory about my opinions on Brooklyn Beckham versus this.
Hi friends, it's Editing Rose here, and I thought I would just jump in and talk about my thoughts after the fact. So I was thinking about this and trying to figure out why, when it comes to the Brooklyn Beckham, promoting super dry vegan shoe situation, why that story bothered me. And I think it's because of the kind of messaging and the marketing around that, where they use the word vegan instead of maybe saying, plant-based shoes. Instead of saying that, they use the term vegan. They're using, the hashtag, sustainability. They're talking about having, a lower fashion footprint. So they're kind of going at it from that ethical/moral angle and that sustainable angle, which I don't buy. And I think it's also the fact that the person promoting it clearly doesn't at all believe in that, even though he's using those words, sustainability, sustainable fashion. Even though he's using those buzzwords, he doesn't believe in it in any way, shape, or form. Whereas what I noticed with these fast food companies such as KFC, they are very careful, and I don't think they use the term vegan when they discuss their plant-based nuggets or their plant-based products. They use the term plant-based, which, I appreciate because I think it's important to have that distinction, and they're not really making some sort of moral or ethical argument because they can't really, right? I think to me, that's the biggest difference. I don't have a problem with non-vegan companies creating or having vegan products at all. I support that completely. But I think it's the kind of, using the ethical portion of veganism to sell the product rather than actually discuss the issue. And to me, that's the problem. But yeah, that's kind of my analysis after the fact. Let me know what you guys think on this topic.
I think we need to recognize also the kind of importance of that social aspect of inclusivity, like feeling like you're kind of, part of society. And unfortunately, eating fast food is a big part of society. It's a big part of what a lot of kids do. A lot of kids enjoy. You want to go to McDonald's, have a Big Mac or whatever. You want to participate in these, weird social traditions. And being able to go into, a KFC and getting something to eat as a vegan, I think it does make a big difference. And I can personally speak from personal experience. Once A&W introduced the Beyond Burgers, oh my God, it was definitely a game changer, especially when I would go on like road trips and stuff. I've been vegan for a while, so I got used to not going to fast food places so much. But when I was on road trips, like most of the time when you would stop at a roadside, it would be like fast food places, McDonald's, Subway, A&W. And I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a Beyond Burger at A&W on a road trip since it came out, probably at least 10 times. So it does make a difference. It makes you just, it adds a huge layer of convenience, especially when it's like a big fast food chain. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I'm personally for these fast food places coming out with new vegan products, even if they don't really care. I think it adds a lot of convenience to a lot of people, and it makes veganism more accessible. It makes veganism more mainstream, whatever you want to call it. At the same time, we should keep discussing the ethics and the animals as part of the discussion. Anyways, that's it. That's my video. That's my Vegan Talks video. It's been a while, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. My throat really hurts now from so much talking. Let me know, of course, in the comments, your thoughts on any of the discussions we had today. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. You guys always have such good thoughts, such good insights. I feel like I have the smartest followers. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please give it a big thumbs up. It does help me a lot. And of course, subscribe for more videos. Check out my playlist, my Vegan Talks playlist, which I will link down below so you can check out previous videos I've done for the Vegan Talks series. And guys, just a reminder, if you are interested in the Vietnam trip, make sure you check out the link down below. There are only a few spots available for booking. So if you want to come to Vietnam with me, eat a bunch of Vietnamese vegan food, and travel Vietnam. Oh my God, how amazing does that sound? If you guys want to come along, check out the link below with all the details, and we can go and chill in Vietnam and eat food together. So excited. Definitely check out that link down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.